Next, children, 20 years ago tonight, said the man. Then he just explained the policeman about his motive to stay there. I dined here at Big Joe's Brady's with Jimmy Wells. Big Joe's Brady's with Jimmy Wells over here means he's telling him that long time ago he and his friend named Jimmy Wells had dined together. My best chum over here means friend, and the finest chap in the world. So according to him, his friend is the finest chap in the world. It's a chap is the word for friend used in a slang way. He and I were raised here in New York, so they both were the residents of New York, just like two brothers together. I was 18 and Jimmy was 20. The next morning, I was to start for the West to make my fortune. So he said that the next month, the night they had dined together, the very next morning he had to go to West. He means to say to the Western countries to make his fortune. Okay, so you couldn't have dragged Jimmy out of New York. Then he explains that how his friend was, that he was so, he loved his native place so much that he didn't want to come out of New York. He thought it was the only place on the earth. Well, we agreed that night that we would meet here again, exactly 20 years from the date and time, no matter what our conditions might be or from what distance we might have to come. We figured that in 20 years, each of us ought to have our destiny worked out and our fortunes made, whatever they were going to be. So the friends decided that after 20 years, they're going to meet at the same place, whatever be the situation. Whether they stayed quite far from each other, still they would definitely come on this place at the same time when they have the dinner together. Okay, so and they said whatever fortunes, then they would see what destiny they had worked out in their lives. Okay, so it sounds pretty interesting, said the policeman. Rather a long time between meetings, though, it seems to me. Haven't you heard from your friend since you left? Well, yes. For a time we corresponded each other. We corresponded, said the other. Corresponded means we had a talk with each other, but after a year or two, we lost track of each other. So he said after 1 or 2 years, they did not have any correspondence with each other. Lost the track means they did not have any talking with each other. Okay, you see, the West is a pretty big proposition, and I kept hustling around it over it pretty lively. So he says that you see that West is a pretty big proposition. Proposition over here means that it's a big place where it's a big proposal where he traveled here and there and led a very hectic life looking for to make his living. Okay, but I know Jimmy well. Meet me here if he's alive, for he always was the truest, staunchest old chap in the world. Staunchest means most faithful person in the world. So he would definitely come there. He'll never forget. I came 1,000 miles to stand in this door tonight, and it's worth if my old partner turns up. So he says that even I have come from 1,000 miles from such a far place to be here tonight. So even my partner would definitely come. Then the waiting man pulled out a handsome watch. Okay, the waiting man refers to the same man who was speaking to the policeman. The lids of his set with small diamonds. You could see this appearance that he appeared to be a very rich man. He had diamond on his necklace and he had a good handsome watch. 3 minutes to 10, he announced. It is exactly 10 o'clock when we parted here at the restaurant. Okay. Did pretty well out, West, didn't you? Asked the policeman. Did pretty well out over here means that you must have earned a lot of money. You must have done, because out of his appearance, the policeman guessed that he must have earned a lot in the West. You bet. I hope Jimmy has done half as well. He was a kind of plodder. Plodder means a person who is a hard worker, a steady worker. Though good fellow as he was, I've had to compete with him, with some of his sharpest wits, going to get my pile. Get my pile over here means to earn to earn money Okay, I had to compete with him because my friend was the excellent person, and he was a very, very faithful person, a hard worker who would really be earning a lot. So I had to compete with him. A man gets in a groove in New York. It takes the West to put a razor edge on him. Gets in a groove means a man in New York gets in a groove means gets in a daily routine. But if you go to West, you have to. It takes the West to put a razor edge on him. Razor edge means that if you go to West, you have so much. You struggle so much to get a good fortune. Therefore, it's a razor edge on him means it's a very, dead a thing which is very sharp. Okay, sharp over here. Razor edge edges. The edges of the razor are sharp, which usually they make a man. Okay, they scrape the whatever the laziness in you, and they actually make you a person in life. Okay, that is only after a lot of struggle. The policeman twirled his club. Twirled means he moved. He just, how a policeman behaves. Club is a stick which he holds in his hand, and he just twirled. He just moved his club, okay, and took a step or two. I'll be on my way. Hope your friend comes around all night. Going to call time on him sharp. Going to call time on him sharp. He means to say that, are you going to make a call? Okay, are you going to if he leave if he doesn't appear on time?